Hello and welcome everyone. This is just a collage with me video. I am inspired by this postcard that I found recently at an antique store. And this person, this character, looked a bit androgynous to me, and so I thought I could manipulate the body and kind of turn it into a more feminine person. And so I kind of narrow in her waist, I slim out her forearms and her neck and kind of and the shoulders as well, just to make the body seem a little bit more feminine. At some point I even add a little rouge to the cheeks and some lip coloring. I don't have colored pencils or markers, so I just used what I had, but I think it works well enough. I didn't really know what else I was going to do with this collage other than I just really wanted to use this postcard in some sort of way. And I spend a lot of time playing around with different backgrounds and kind of having a hard time like figuring out what setting and scene I want her to be in. But I find some sunflowers eventually, and that becomes kind of a driving force for the scene. I also play around with different ways of creating longer hair for her. And initially I had in mind this picture of grass, and I tried to make that work, and it didn't, I don't know, it didn't seem like hair. It just seemed like a picture of grass that was around her face. And so I did away with that and ended up just drawing hair from scratch, and much happier with that, how that turned out. Here's the sunflowers, and that kind of becomes this, like I said already, like this driving force for the scene. And suddenly she's like holding a bouquet, and she becomes the flower picker. And that is going to be the name of this collage, the flower picker. And she has a gun on her hip, and I will eventually put some flowers there, and I put a flower in her hair, and then she's, at her feet surrounded by flowers. And I kind of like how it turned out. The catalogs or the magazines I'm using are Arizona Highways from the 1940s. All of the paper that I'm working with today it's kind of brittle, so I had to be a little careful because it tore very easily in ways that I didn't necessarily want it to. But these were a gift from my mom and stepdad that they had found years ago in an antique store, and bought it because they had this idea that they would want to collect Arizona Highways magazines and never really pursued that. And when they heard that I had gotten into collaging and that my favorite magazine to use was the Arizona Highways, they ended up giving me these 6 magazines from the 40s, and I'm really grateful for that. So thanks, Mom. The hat ended up not really working, so I had cut it off, and then in the end you'll see that she has a new hat that I kind of cut out from an image. And I don't do this very often, but I actually used a lot more pen in the collage. Actually, I don't think I've ever done that. Maybe I have. I don't know. But I used the pens to kind of highlight some of the flowers, and to highlight her face and some of the features and shadowing. And that was kind of fun to do that, to do something new and different. But I honestly don't have much else to say about this piece. So, and I'm not in the chattiest of moods. I feel like I should be reading a story or playing some music or something, because I just don't have a lot to say. I'm sitting in my car in the dark. It has an analog clock on the dash, and it's ticking. I don't know if you can hear that. And there's also this pair of great horned owls that live in the neighborhood. and every morning and evening, and sometimes even in the middle of the day, I hear them, and it's really wonderful. They're just always chatting back and forth. And I'm curious to know what it is they're communicating, because they seem to have a lot to say. So anyways, I think I'm going to say goodbye early and let you just watch the rest of this video in silence. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll add some music. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you all for watching nonetheless, and hopefully this collage will end up turning into a sticker in the future and also be available in my shop. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.